The pain of death, causes and remedies. Jesus Christ teaches that those buried as dead within this tomb-like body, if they listen to his voice, will come to life. This makes it clear that we are not merely this body. By letting go of the belief that we are solely the body, and by turning inward to connect with the divine voice of God, referred to as spiritual words or logos, we can escape the pain of death. Let us explore further insights from other saints.
Translating the provided content into English while maintaining the essence and cultural depth. The pain of death, causes and remedies. Death, the most unsolved mystery and undeniable truth of human existence, has intrigued humankind for ages. To comprehend its profound nature, one must understand the relationship between the soul, consciousness, and the material, body, mind, and life forces. Saints and scriptures have shed light on this mystery, explaining that the primary cause of the pain of death is the deep attachment of the soul to the material, body, mind, and worldly possessions. The distinction between the conscious and the material. According to enlightened saints, the body is merely a transient tool for the soul to interact with the physical world. The soul is eternal and conscious, while the body, mind, and life forces are material. Two types of creation exist. Conscious creation, soul and supreme soul, God. Material creation, 5 elements, 10 senses, mind, intellect, memory, ego, and illusion. Illusion, or Maya, is described as something that appears real but is not. As the saints say, all that the mind perceives is illusion, brother. This means that everything within the mind's grasp, thoughts, concepts, and imagination, is part of the material realm, not the eternal reality. The soul and the supreme soul are immortal and eternal. However, due to ignorance, the soul mistakenly identifies itself with the body. The cause of death's pain. Kabir Sahib explains, the material body disintegrates, and the conscious soul, bound by karma, experiences separation. Guru Nanak Sahib states, ego is the chronic disease. Ego here refers to the false identification of the soul with the body and worldly attachments. The pain of death arises from the belief of I, ego. When the soul, the eternal consciousness, begins to identify with the body and worldly possessions, it becomes extremely painful to leave them at the time of death. Saint Ravidas expresses this truth, the restless mind binds itself to everyone. At the time of death, fear overwhelms it. At the moment of death, the soul contracts inwardly, detaching from the body. But since the soul identifies with the body, it resists leaving it. This internal conflict causes immense suffering, akin to pulling a delicate silk cloth through a thorny bush, tearing it apart. Saints liken this pain to the stings of millions of scorpions simultaneously. Some saints describe the process as extracting a thorny rod from the body. This experience repeats endlessly across lifetimes, causing unmeasurable agony. Thus, the more attachments one has to the body and the world, the greater the suffering at the time of death. The soul's attachment, grip, to these illusions is the primary cause of this pain. Overcoming attachment. To overcome this suffering, one must realize, I am not this body or mind, I am the radiant light of the Supreme Father. Saints like Guru Nanak emphasize that the union of the soul and the Supreme Soul is the true liberation, moksha. Saint Mansour explains, the pain of death results from the worldly relationships and attachments we create. This suffering can only end and the soul recognizes its true nature. The 5 elements and the web of ignorance. The body, composed of the 5 elements, earth, water, fire, air, and space, originates from tam, darkness or ignorance. When the soul inhabits the body, it mistakenly identifies itself with it due to ignorance. An analogy. Imagine living in a rented house for 10 to 15 years, forming friendships and ties, enrolling children in local schools, and then being asked to vacate the house. This eviction causes distress, even though you know the house is not yours. Similarly, the soul identifies with the body in worldly relations, perceiving them as mine, resulting in pain during separation at death. The body, however, is only a temporary vessel, paid for with the currency of breaths. As saints say, each breath is worth the 3 worlds. Kabir Sahib beautifully summarizes. I speak and repeat this truth. Every breath wasted is the cost of the three worlds. This suffering, caused by ignorance and attachment, leads Kabir Sahib to lament. The world sleeps peacefully, eating and resting, while the servant Kabir weeps, awake and distressed. Kabir Sahib expresses sorrow over humanity's ignorance, as a terrible sword of death dangles over everyone, yet people remain blissfully unaware. Conclusion. The pain of death is caused by ignorance and attachment to the material world. Saints urge us to remember our true identity, not the body or mind, but the eternal, conscious essence of the Supreme Father. In the next session, remedies for overcoming this pain and attaining true liberation will be discussed. Sat Sahib folded hands, folded hands, folded hands.
संत कबीर का संदेश लाए, जीवन का सही अर्थ बताए। कर्म की बातें हर दिन कहे, सच्चे मन से सच्चा राह दिखाए। नाम का जप हर पल करे, सपनों के नभ में उड़ो नाम भरे। निष्काम प्रेम से सबको मिलाए, छुटकारा दिलाए जब मन घबराए। बिना दिखावे के सादा जीवन, कर्म प्रधानी साधना का संग। निराकार में ईश्वर का रंग, संत कबीर का पावन तरंग। जात पात का भेद मिटाए, भाईचारे की माला पहनाए। साधु संत संग का संदेश, तभी मिलेगी सच्ची आश्रय। आडंबर से कबीर बचाते, अहंकार को सदैव हराते। सत्य की राह पर चलना सिखाते, हृदय से ईश्वर को अपनाते। संत की वाणी अमृत सम, शिराओं में बहती मूरत मन। कबीर के बोल पे चले हम, दुख सारे हर लेंगे सनम। जात पात का भेद मिटाए, भाईचारे की माला पहनाए। साधु संत संग का संदेश, तभी मिलेगी सच्ची आशा।